My faithful one, listen closely. I did not carry you this far just to let you go. Every step, every delay, every hidden rescue has been guiding you toward this moment. Reach for my hand now, because I am leading you into something greater than you expected. I have taken full responsibility for your path, and what I have prepared ahead will leave you in awe. When you placed that burden in my hands, something deeper than emotion happened. You released control, and trust took its place. What you could not carry alone, I accepted fully. The weight you feared, the struggle you tried to manage, the fight that exhausted your strength, those no longer rest on your shoulders. This is not a temporary exchange or a moment of comfort that fades with time. When you surrender what troubles you, you are entering into trust, not uncertainty. Your responsibility is no longer to carry the outcome, but to walk forward in faith while I work beyond what you can see. If this message resonates with your heart, take a quiet moment to write "I will trust" in the comments as a simple expression of faith. If this is speaking to you, take a quiet moment and write "I will trust you" in the comments, just as a simple step of agreement. And if someone you love is carrying the same weight, share this with them today. Remember what is written: cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5-7. When something is placed in my care, it is not neglected, forgotten, or left unresolved. I do not handle things the way the world does, limited by timing, resources, or human strength. What is entrusted to me is held securely, guided wisely, and brought to completion in the right way and at the right time. Think of the boy who placed his small lunch into my hands. 5 loaves and 2 fish did not look like enough, but once surrendered, it became more than anyone imagined. What seemed insufficient became abundance. That is what happens when you release what you cannot manage and allow me to work with it. So understand this clearly. Once you have given it to me, the future is not fragile. It is covered, it is steady, it is being shaped with purpose. And what you fear might fall apart is being worked through with purpose, even if you cannot see the outcome yet. This certainty flows from who I am. Yet there is something I see again and again, and it grieves the heart of heaven. You come to me with your burdens, you release them, you breathe again. For a moment, peace settles over you, and you feel safe, held, and covered. But when a new day begins, the very thing you placed in my hands returns to your thoughts. You revisit it, analyze it, rehearse every possible failure, and imagine outcomes that have not happened and may never come. Little by little, without noticing, you take back what you surrendered. You lift the weight from the altar and place it on your shoulders again. Then the cycle begins, letting go and taking back, trusting and then questioning, resting and then worrying. This is not the life I desire for you. That pattern is wearing down your strength. It drains your spirit and quietly robs you of the peace that was meant to guard your heart. Remember what is written: you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. Peace is not lost because I have stepped away. It fades when your thoughts return to fear instead of trust. Your mind was never meant to carry what your faith already released. Look at Peter walking on the water. As long as his eyes stayed on me, he stood above the storm. But the moment he focused on the wind and waves, fear pulled him down. The storm had not changed, his focus had. This is the turning point for you. Do not measure your situation by what you see or what you imagine could go wrong. Once you have placed something in my hands, leave it there. Stop returning to the altar to reclaim what has already been entrusted. Because every time you take the burden back, you step away from the peace that was already given, and the strength you need for what comes next begins with learning to leave it with me. And this is what makes the struggle so unnecessary. You already know what I have spoken over your life. I did not give you a possibility. I did not offer a fragile outcome that depends on perfect circumstances or flawless decisions. I told you that you will not face what is ahead alone, and that my care will remain with you. This is not optimism. It is not encouragement meant to comfort you for a moment. It is a promise grounded in my nature. I do not change. I do not reverse my word. God is not human, that he should lie, not a human being, that he should change his mind. Numbers 23:19. When God speaks through his promises, you can trust that his purpose continues beyond what you can see. But I am not asking for agreement only in your thoughts. I am calling you to trust with your whole being, to let confidence sink deep into your spirit until it holds you steady when circumstances begin to shake. Faith like this does not analyze every possibility. It rests. Think of Abraham. He moved forward without knowing the destination because he trusted the one who called him. That is the faith that carries you, not understanding every step, but trusting the one who leads them. I want you to trust the way a child trusts a father's arms. When a father says, "Jump, I've got you," the child does not measure distance, strength, or timing. The child moves without hesitation, certain that the promise will hold. That is the trust that quiets fear. That is the faith that steadies your heart. And when you place your hand in mine with that kind of confidence, you stop living in uncertainty and start walking in assurance. Do you remember the moment you finally stopped fighting alone? It may have come in exhaustion, in quiet surrender, when your strength was gone and your heart simply reached upward. You did not have perfect words, only honesty. And when you reached out, I took your hand. Understand this. My hold on you is not fragile or temporary. It is steady, intentional, and enduring. I am not beside you casually. I am holding you with the care of a father guiding a child through danger, firm enough to protect, close enough to keep you from falling. For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand and say to you, "Do not fear, I will help you." Isaiah 41:13. So do not pull away in fear. Do not rush ahead because you think you know a faster way. When a child crosses a busy road, safety is not found in speed, it is found in staying close. The same is true for you. Your security is not in control, but in connection. Stay with me, walk at my pace, because the strength that will carry you forward is not in your grip on life, it is in my grip on you. I will not let you fall. So walk with me calmly toward the place I am preparing for you. Do not resist the pace I am setting. Do not rush ahead because progress feels slow. And do not pull away thinking you have found a quicker way. I know the destination and I know the safest path to reach it. There are roads that look right but lead to trouble you cannot yet see. There are shortcuts that seem efficient but would leave you lost, delayed, and weary. I am guiding you toward places of rest, provision, and peace, even now, step by step. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 23:2-3. You must trust my timing. What feels like delay to you is often protection. What seems slow is preparation. Joseph waited in silence before he stood in authority. David was hidden in the fields before he wore the crown. The waiting was not wasted, it was necessary. You see only the moment. I see the whole journey. I see the dangers ahead, the doors not yet ready, the people not yet prepared. I see the beginning, the middle, and the end. And what is ahead for you is not uncertainty. It is a place where provision meets readiness, where peace meets strength, and where every step taken in trust brings you closer to the life I have already prepared. I see what is waiting for you. Ahead, provision, restoration, renewed strength, unexpected joy, and doors that will open at the right time. Even when life feels uncertain, your story is not without meaning or direction. I am aligning the moment, shaping your heart, and positioning the right people and circumstances so you can receive what has been prepared. So stop resisting the path. Stop questioning every turn when it doesn't match your expectations. Even when the direction feels unfamiliar, stay close to me. Your task is not to control the journey, it is to keep walking in trust. When I say, I will provide for you, it is not a comforting idea, it is part of who I am. I sustained a nation in the wilderness with bread from heaven. I brought water from stone. I took what looked insufficient and turned it into more than enough. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. Understand this clearly. My provision is not limited to material things. I do not want you lacking wisdom when decisions are difficult. I do not want you lacking strength when the pressure rises. I do not want you lacking peace when uncertainty surrounds you, or courage when opportunity appears. True abundance is not measured by what you hold in your hands. It is the condition of your soul steady, secure, and confident that you are cared for. That is the life I am leading you into. Not a life of excess, but a life where your heart is filled, your spirit is strengthened, and your confidence rests in a love that does not run out. Because what you truly need is not more things, but a soul that is deeply satisfied. Your soul is thirsty, and you felt it, even when you couldn't name it. You've tried to quiet that ache with achievements, telling yourself, if I accomplish more, I'll finally feel whole. You've looked for it in relationships, hoping one person's approval could silence the loneliness. You've tried to outrun the emptiness with noise and constant motion. You've reached for quick comforts that sparkle for a moment, then leave you more drained than before. And deep down, you already know the truth. Nothing created can satisfy what only the Creator can fill. There is a sacred space within you that cannot be occupied by applause, romance, or distraction. It was made for God's presence, made for a love that doesn't fluctuate with your performance. Not the kind of love that stays only while you meet expectations, then disappears when you fall short. God's love is not a transaction. It is not shallow, not fragile, not temporary. It sees what you hide, every weakness, every failure, every fear, and it does not turn away. It holds you with full knowledge of your story. That's why Jesus met the Samaritan woman at the well, not to shame her thirst, but to reveal its true answer. He offered what no human could provide, living water. Not a temporary fix, but a deeper fullness that reaches places no one else can touch. And here's the turning point. When that love fills you, your cravings lose their grip. You stop begging the wrong rooms for validation. You stop measuring your worth by rejection, criticism, or disappointment. Those things may still sting, but they no longer get to name you, define you, or decide your value. And this is where fear tries to take its place. Your mind runs ahead of you, building worst-case stories before the day even begins. What if everything collapses? What if the door closes? What if it's too late? Fear pulls you out of the present and traps you inside a future that hasn't happened. Your body reacts, your heart races, your peace disappears, all because of shadows, not reality. And while you prepare for disasters that may never come, you miss the strength and provision already beside you. But hear this clearly. You are not promised a life without storms. You are promised a presence within them. When the ground feels unstable, you will stand. Not because you are strong enough, but because you are being held. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire, the flames may surround you, but you will not be alone there. His presence changes the outcome of every battle. He is closer than your breath, steady when everything else shakes. When your strength fails, His carries you. When your thoughts grow loud, His peace speaks louder. When darkness closes in, His light still leads. And even if people have walked away before, He does not leave. His love does not withdraw when life gets messy. It does not break under pressure. It does not reach a limit. Lamentations reminds you, His mercies are new every morning. Every fall is met with grace. Every doubt is met with faithfulness. Every wandering step is met with a hand that comes to find you. This is who He has always been, and this is who He will always be. And I know the reason these words matter so much right now is because you are tired. I know you're running on empty, not because you're failing, but because you've been carrying what no human was meant to carry alone. You've learned to smile while your chest feels heavy, to say, "I'm fine," while your thoughts unravel in private. And you've been forcing strength long after strength ran out. But hear this. Exhaustion is not your enemy, it's your signal. A warning light that says, stop striving, stop performing, stop trying to survive on willpower. You don't have to solve everything today. You don't have to fix what broke overnight. You don't have to hold every thread with shaking hands. Sit down, breathe, let the frantic pressure fall silent. The world calls that weakness, but heaven calls it wisdom. Because the moment you admit, I can't do this alone, you step out of illusion and into a strength that doesn't run dry. Remember Elijah, brave, faithful, and then suddenly spent. He collapsed under a broom tree and could not go another step. Yet God didn't shame him. God met him, fed him, and let him rest. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop. Renewal begins where striving ends. And that urgency you feel, the panic that says you're behind, that time is running out, that is not God's voice. God does not drive you with fear. He leads with peace. His timing is not late, and you are not forgotten. You may feel paused, but you are not trapped. You are being positioned, placed with precision for what comes next. You've seen only what's missing, but you haven't seen what you were protected from. You've counted closed doors, but you haven't counted the disasters you never had to live through, because God shut them. What looks like delay is often mercy in disguise. What feels like nothing is happening is often preparation happening deep. David learned this in the quiet fields before the giant, before the crown. He discovered a shepherd, not a distant judge. And from that hidden season came words that still carry power. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. That is not poetry for decoration. It is a blueprint for survival. Even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you do not have to fear evil, because I am with you. My rod and my staff comfort you. I prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And when God prepares the table, fear doesn't get to decide the menu. So stop rushing, stop forcing doors, stop making fear your advisor. Stay close to the shepherd. Let him rebuild your strength from the inside out until faith rises louder than anxiety and you start walking again, not in panic, but in peace. Because you are not stuck. You are being set in place. And before you leave this moment, hold on to what has spoken to your heart today. And when the season turns, you will understand why it had to be this way, why the waiting was not wasted, and why your cup overflows, and surely goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life. Before you go, take one line from this message to carry into your day. If it encouraged you, you're welcome to share it in the comments or pass it on to someone who may need hope today.